So the NFL season gets underway this week, just 2 days away from the defending champs in Kansas City trying to repeat this moment and winning Super Bowl last year. And it all starts with them facing the Houston Texans on Thursday, right there at Arrowhead. Of course, they had the MVP and pretty much the same roster from a season ago. A lot of pieces there, Travis Kelce, and a lot more to go with that as well. Some believe they can be a dynasty, but it all starts this week. Taking a look at our power rankings provided by NFL senior writer Pete Frisco. The Chiefs, no surprise, at top. But then there's a few that might have some eyebrows raising there, Tommy. Packers at 2. He always has the Packers up there. Oh, I love it. We're going to talk about the Saints at 3, Niners at 4, and the Steelers at 5. And then checking in at 10, the Seahawks, rounding out those top 10. All right, let's welcome in the man behind all this, Pete Frisco, jumping on HQ with us. And Pete, let's start at the top there. Probably your easiest decision there with the champs coming in at number 1.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question the Chiefs are the favorites to repeat, and they should be. When you have Patrick Mahomes, the best player in the league and the best quarterback in the league, that really puts you in a position to win another Super Bowl. That's how good they are. Plus, you look around, everybody's back. They barely lost anybody from the Super Bowl winning team, and Andy Reid will be outstanding at getting this team focused. Because you know, week in and week out, when you're the favorite, everybody guns for you, and they're going to be ready for it because Andy Reid is that kind of coach.
Of course, they started their season Thursday with the Texans, as you can see there, and then 2 straight away from home with the Chargers and the Ravens, a team that a lot consider the contending in the AFC. But I want to look at your number 2 there. You got the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you could have went the Ravens and Niners, but why so high on the Packers this year?
By the way, congrats, guys. You're the first 2 guys to pick them apart this season, and I expect a bunch of it with this Green Bay Packers pick being at number 2. I think the Packers went to the championship game last year and had a bad defensive showing in San Francisco where they got gashed in the run game, and they were that far away from going to the Super Bowl. And yet everybody looks at them and they say they're not very good. Well, they went 13-3. Yeah, there were some close victories, but you are what you are, and I wrote that in there. They were 13-3, and I think they're going to be better this time around. Last year, they had no other option other than Devontae Adams. I think Valdez-Scantling, we've heard great things from him this year so far. I heard that last summer. It didn't work out. I think he'll help expand the offense. Defensively, they will be better. They had real problems stopping the run because they're not a big defense. And Aaron Rodgers in his second season in that Matt LaFleur offense will be that much better. So I don't see where everybody's picking on the Packers. Plus, as long as Aaron Rodgers is taking those snaps and playing at a high level, despite the fact that there's a bad notion out there that he's not the same guy, I'm picking the Green Bay Packers to win the NFC.
All right, we have to see, of course, is the argument against him has always been he doesn't have the targets. We'll see. Devontae Adams is still there, as you mentioned. But coming in at 5, I see a little difference here. We're talking the AFC North. You're going with a healthy Big Ben and the Steelers based on what we've seen last year without him instead of the reigning MVP in Baltimore checking it at 6. Why is that?
Well, you saw what they did last year. They almost, pushed for the postseason with Duck Hodges and that group playing quarterback, and they were terrible. I mean, across the board, they were bad quarterbacks. Mason Rudolph, terrible quarterback. And now they got Ben Roethlisberger back. Now, we don't know if he's the same guy, but I think he is. You hear good things coming out of Pittsburgh, that he's throwing the ball the same way. He's in great shape, and that gives them a major edge on offense over what they had a year ago. I think Juju Smith-Schuster will be better now that Roethlisberger's back, and he was banged up last year. The offensive line, always good. They'll run the ball. But it's about that defense. That defense has a chance to be the best in the league. They were dominant a year ago across the board. They can rush the passer. T.J. Watt's outstanding. The secondary's very good. The linebackers can run, and they're big and physical up front. It's that defense that makes me give them the edge over the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, the Steelers showing off, of course, without Big Ben in the lineup, Juju Smith-Schuster, and plenty of others, especially on that defensive side. I want to look at the bottom, though, here, Pete. You got Washington along with Jacksonville, but for some odd reason, you have Washington at the bottom instead of the team that traded everybody except for Duval County. You going a little soft here on Jacksonville, giving them 31 instead of 32 here?
No, you look at go to the quarterback. Minshew's played well. Haskins didn't play well, so that's a big if in Washington. I think it's less of an if in Jacksonville. I think Minshew right now going into the season is ahead of Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins has to show me that he can be a quarterback who can be consistent throwing the football. Minshew has actually shown some of that. He had a good rookie year last year. I think he's going to be even better this year, and he'll have to be. The Jaguars are going to give up a ton of points because their defense is young. They're going to score a lot of points. I don't think either one of these teams is going to win a lot of games, but in the end, I think I gave it to Jacksonville because of the quarterback play.
Pete, when you look at your rankings here, what was probably your toughest decision of all, ranking these guys from 1 to 32? Of course, of what we've been through, no training camp, very little movement with teams and throughout the offseason. What was your toughest move here?
It was hard for me to put the New England Patriots down where they are. You know, I think, what are they, 21, I think it is, or 20? That killed me because they are so, you know, the history is so good. And Bill Belichick, the greatest coach who's ever coached. And yet I look at them and they have Cam Newton. I look at the rest of that roster and I look at it and I go, it just doesn't add up. If he gets this team to the postseason, it will be the greatest coaching job in Bill Belichick's history. That's how much they don't have talent, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. The secondary is good. The rest of that defense, young and inexperienced, they got to show me something. If this team, and by the way, the receivers aren't great either. If this team gets to the playoffs, Bill Belichick will cement himself, he already is in my mind, as the greatest coach in the history of the game. And Cam Newton trying to make a bounce back as well up there in New England as a first stint outside of Carolina. Pete Frisco, as always, my friend, take care. Appreciate your time. So the conversation continues, and we are 2 days away from the season kicking off in KC, and the fellas have always been busy leading up to this. The Pick 6 podcast, you got to check them out as we get ready for the year. They break down some of their bold predictions heading into week 1 through the rest of the season. Download and subscribe.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.